So one of the things I've been doing recently to keep the youthful spirit of, just going into a movie and not knowing what to expect is either watching one trailer of said movie or watching no trailers and going in completely blind. Sheep Detectives, I didn't watch any trailers for it. And little did I know that it was going to be the most family-friendly murder mystery that I've ever witnessed. I know it's an oxymoron, but I can't help but feel a little misled. Greetings and salutations. Today's case is going to be The Sheep Detectives. The is very important to this case. The Sheep Detectives is a movie about a tribe of sheep that are living on a peaceful strip of farmland and reading murder mysteries, or listening to murder mysteries, because sheep can't read, until their beloved shepherd dies, and now they have to go and find the culprit before they end up meeting the same fate. And let me level with you, I'm a bit of a grump. I have no interest in seeing kid films. Now that's just maybe a preference. I feel like the best comparison I can give you is that I'm not a Minions fan, but I do love Paddington. I don't know where that lies on the spectrum, but maybe you can kind of help me figure that out. But I think a key trait that I have is that I am open to being surprised and a little less open to being wrong. But I can be wrong, damn it. This movie at no point felt like it was spoon-feeding me information to understand the context of everything going on. If you're a parent that's watching this with a kid, you're gonna enjoy it just as much as the kid is, with cute fuzzy animals running across the screen and, committing shenanigans. This is a star-studded cast, so it's people you're very familiar with that you've seen in other films in a concept of a kid's movie. None of them decided to say, like, I'm just taking this for the paycheck. They clocked in with the voice work in this film. Patrick Stewart is one of the sheep in the film and obviously a little bit older in terms of the sheep of the herd. And he does exactly what you need him to do, and you expect nothing less, because this man just excels at doing whatever he does. I don't know what to say specifically, but the one-liners that they give him in this movie is just, chef's kiss. Hugh Jackman plays the shepherd of the sheep, and he's a passionate and strong-willed character that you don't expect. He has a very Wolverine-esque moment in this film, and it's just unexpected that this man would put the paws on somebody. Like, this man cannot resist it. It just happens. Run from it, dread it, destiny comes all the same. Now, the main sheets of this film, Sebastian, Lily, and Mopple, they're the ones that are solving the crime. The shepherd, being Hugh Jackman, had died in the film, and they're the ones that are trying to gather the effort in order to figure out what has happened and who is the culprit behind this murder. Throughout this entire movie, these three characters really just shine in their own way, and surprisingly, have very strong elements within this film. Bryan Cranston as Sebastian, like, you knew what you were doing. You know this man will just carry, and he did. And he carries some of the best scenes throughout this movie. He is known as someone that is kind of an outcast and goes off on his own, and they never know where he goes until he comes back, and he comes through for his herd. What can I say? It's an emotional movie. It's a little heavy on the melancholy, I'm not gonna lie, because my expectations going into this film as a grump were very low to moderate. After actually sitting in, baking into this film, killing off the main character is probably the boldest choice you can make in a kid's film. And him leaving like a pretty good impression on these sheep is a very heartfelt relationship that you get a sense of throughout this film. The biggest win for this film for me is how respectful their tone is towards the topics and main things that they talk about in this film, as well as the respect to the audience comprehension level. It feels a little bit more catered towards adults as well. The way this film is filmed is obviously catered towards more saturated colors. It's very visually friendly. A comparison. Holy goodness, that gave me the biggest heart attack I've ever. Holy goodness. That was very obsession-like. This is not obsession. This is Sheep Detectives. I don't know why, but my cats like going into the bathroom together. One of them watches the other one. Sometimes the other one attacks the other one. We're working on it. It's a thing. There's moments of humor all throughout this movie, even among the melancholy, but it's never to the extent of hyperactive fart jokes in a movie after a dramatic scene had occurred. They handle that maturely, I feel like. This movie takes a considerable amount of time fleshing out the ideas of grief, death, and what it means to be left behind, and also be able to remember the people that came before us that didn't get to live the life we live right now. And there are consequences to the actions of these characters. It takes a turn where the character actually has to realize that maybe they were in a rush, or maybe just the fact that they automatically assumed the worst in a person, and that changed their perception overall of the case. Grant, there are some characters that are portrayed, especially the humans, don't really get much of a spotlight or much humanistic traits compared to the sheeps. Obviously, they're more like functional versus actual characters acting within the plot. And I feel like because this film is also focusing on an emotional context and also still managed to have some goofs and gaffes here, the investigation part of this film is kind of on the back burner. It's not necessarily wrapped up in the most convincing way. There's still some loose ends that you're kind of like, how did you get here? Obviously, finding the culprit who was behind the depths was maybe a little more obvious, but I was just enjoying it for the ride. I wasn't really trying to solve the crime myself. I would just say I'm mainly impressed with the fact that this film was able to talk about or even handle real world concepts in a sheep allegory relating to family dynamics. Everyone has their own place, and whether or not they don't necessarily fit in with the general dynamics of a family, they are still part of the herd. Even a small aspect of the meat industry, which was a very hilarious concept, but it also had a very serious tone throughout the film that was almost ominous, kind of scary, because they do go outside the farmland and they do meet other sheep that are being taken care of. And I think my top favorite scene is when Lily, who is one of the smartest sheep, talks to Mopple, who is known for remembering everything essentially. And throughout this movie, they talk about the fact that the sheep are known to forget things. Bygones be bygones, there's nothing that can be done. You might as well not even dwell on the idea. But certain events happen and certain things become much more clear to Lily the sheep, and Mopple just explains to her like, hey, listen, not all of us become clouds when we die. It just is what it is. And I feel like they handle it in a very, obviously friendly way, but this was another one for the books, another heartwarming and tear-jerking movie. This is probably the third movie where I've almost cried. There's something in the water. I don't know what it is, but it got me. It almost got me. Almost. All I have to say is, be nice to the winter's lamb. Therefore, I would give the Sheep Detectives the honor of being worthy of a bite, and I'd order it twice if I could. But did you guys watch Sheep Detectives? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Comment down below along with your thoughts, theories, and inquiries. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe. And also check down the description below for portals to new endeavors, because fun stuff happens there sometimes. But anyway, I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.